Ahlan wa salam.
Hi? I'm looking for the internet. Are you tapping the line as well?
Indeed I am, except we appear to be doing it from opposite directions.
You're a hacker.
That sounds so crude.
The sort who prefers to be called an adventurer?
I'm merely a concerned citizen. You can call me Jinsel.
I'm Mandela. This looks a lot like the kind of place I used to live.
It ought to. It was right above your own. In fact, we're trying to reconstruct the data from moments before the blast.
You know where I live?
We wouldn't be taking our responsibilities seriously if we didn't. We also know that it appears you've been targeted deliberately. These are shots we've been able to recover of the man who planted the bomb.
That's the guy I spoke to.
You know him?
Yeah, he's the cell agent who interviewed me. He left like an hour ago. Who do you run with? Collective? A nun?
We're a circle of truth seekers and underground journalists. We go by Jahilia.
Never heard of it. What's it mean?
Well, who controls the media today?
Chishiki? They're the biggest.
Exactly. Chishiki, whose name means knowledge. Except in this knowledge, there's nothing but trivia and lies. So where will people find the truth?
Within themselves?
Very philosophical, but not the case. Jahilia means ignorance.
Oh, I get it. It's ironic.
Precisely.
Why do you think it was me they were aiming for?
We hear things. We're also aware that prior to the blast, you were trapped.
Yeah, someone cut my connection and locked the door.
It would appear that you were being kept in place until the bomb was planted.
They probably could have just done it. I'd have been in trance for hours.
They had to be certain. But now that you've escaped, it appears that your life is still at risk.
Why would a cell agent be trying to kill me?
Often, Central's plots are unclear. This, however, is too direct and destructive for how Cell works.
You think it's personal then?
In any case, he knows where you are and that you survived.
He's also got me trapped in one place again.
Then it's imperative that we help you to escape. Our agent may be able to help you with that. He is close at hand.
Wait, the guy in the cell with me? Blonde pseudo-leather jacket, got the shakes?
That would be Guy, yes. He's acting as one of our relays within Cell.
You think he can help me get out?
We work within our own specialties, and his is Cell. If anyone were able to furnish a means for you to escape, it would be him.
Looks like a partially built sim.
Indeed, we're using a number of different sources to reconstruct a scene. Cameras, chromatographs, even the charge variances and wiring.
So why are you hooked up to Cell? No offense, but you'd have to be crazy to hack Central.
Fortunately, Central is indisposed. An initial attack appears to have crippled it.
So lots of opportunists are trying their luck while the security's weak.
Precisely. I was assembling this sim at the same time, when you joined it through an outbound port.
I'd better disconnect and see if your guy can help me get out.
Bit Tawfiq, I've sent you the location to find us at. I'll be here should you require any further assistance in your escape.
Hello?
Ja, was soll schon schief gehen?
Got it. I've made a connection with his neural hub.
Was soll schon schief gehen?
Ich möchte also dringend eine Antwort, dann würde ich sagen alles.
Hi there.
Oh, hey. Make yourself at home. Everyone else seems to in here.
I'm Mandela.
Guy, I'd shake your hand, but, well...
You alright?
Oh yeah, just peachy. Well, I would be if that imposter would go away.
I am not an imposter. I am the real.
Whose name?
How'd you wind up like this?
Well, you know that urban myth about the human resources Trojan?
The one that makes you move to China and join a factory collective?
Turns out, it's not a myth. If I'm correct, Cell have brought me in for treatment.
That's a good thing, right?
Well, duh. I don't want to work in a Han factory.
All glory to the Greater Han Republic.
Shut up!
Jinsel says hi.
Oh, does she? Tell her she owes me double for this one. I lost touch with her hours ago.
She says you know a way out of here?
Well, sure. It's even easier when Central's down. Of course, I'm gonna need something from you.
What's with Pinocchio?
It's a disguise. Normally, by this stage, the Trojan is in control of its host motor functions. It makes a really clumsy mind state echo of the host, then uses it to try to make a convincing flight to Greater Han.
He didn't look like he's in control in meat space.
Peace, bread, and work in the Greater Han Republic.
It's kind of a stalemate at the moment.
He's taken to bombarding you with propaganda instead?
It thinks it can wear me down.
Long life and prosperity to our beloved land of Greater Han.
So, why are you in a cell in Cell with a broken Trojan in your head?
I'm acting as a relay for pirated connections into Cell.
That sounds dangerous.
Pays good, though.
Money is the yoke of capitalism.
Thing is, it's been harder and harder to get into Cell HQ.
So you infected yourself with this?
They have to bring in someone with something like this. Even if they can't treat it, they can at least quarantine.
Giving you an ideal spot to relay signals through your neural wiring.
Exactly.
Fine. What is it you want?
I need an edge to help me get rid of the chatterbox. For that, I need epinephrine. See if you can get them to bring any in.
And if they don't?
You look clever. You can probably find a way to make it.
Substance abuse is the curse of the working classes.
Why do you want this stuff?
The people here don't exactly know what they're doing. Cell's treatment might work, or I might walk out of here and straight to Greater Han. The epinephrine will give me enough of a boost to make sure it's me who wins the battle.
We must persevere in the great revolutionary struggle.
Plus, it's the kind of thing that most chemical synthesizers can make.
Wait, like a food machine?
Probably.
Don't go anywhere.
Ha, you're funny.
Oh Gott, wir dürfen wieder mit einem Nahrungsmittelreplikator spielen.
Ich hab's rausgefunden. Die Nahrungsreplikatoren sind der wahre
Either
Horror
it's got
der
some pretty
Story.
tough
Und der wahre
shielding, or
Bösewicht.
it's too old to be compatible. From the look of it, I'd say the second one.
What?
Either it's got some pretty tough shielding. From the look of it, it won't bring up the menu. I can't just upload it onto the machine. I can't make a connection with it. I need to get inside it to get to its memory. The fork won't fit in the seams around the edges. If I could find something more precise, though. I don't think I can fill that up. Better not. I might need it. I can't reach it. The wetware won't form a connection with it.
Schade.
I think it looks better with...
Jetzt komm da schon runter. Also mit der Wetware kann ich nichts machen.
I've got a question.
Yes.
You're occupying this terminal's internet port. Mind if I connect to the trans through you?
I'm sorry, that's not possible.
Oh, come on, man. I'll only be a few Gbps. I haven't been on in, like, hours.
I can assure you, the trance won't be going anywhere without you.
What's Guy's job, then?
He's a good friend of our cause, works as a relay. We keep a connection open to him, and he finds a way to get as physically close as possible to secure systems.
He looks like he could do with your help.
His link was lost several hours ago.
The Trojan psychophage she's infected with.
He has used some risky tactics for getting inside Cell before. While successful, it appears that his work may have overcome him.
What's your beef with Cell anyway? It must be something pretty big to go after one of the most secure systems in the world.
In an organization like ours, the word secure raises red flags. The mere fact that Cell is so opaque tells us they've something they feel worth hiding.
I've never had any problems with them. They seem to do all right running the city.
As long as you remain within your ever-flexible world of the trans, certainly. You may, however, miss that which happens in the tangle of the real that Central controls. And today there was an opportunity we just couldn't pass up.
Something's wrong with Central. Did you do it?
Not us. We've never seen anyone quite so devastatingly successful. A multi-vector heuristic denial of service attack against Central's inner systems.
But for that, you'd need thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of systems, well-prepared, working in synchronicity. Or access to its innermost workings. It's almost too good to be true, all of Central down at a moment's notice.
How's the city still running?
They'll have auxiliary mechanisms in place. Newton's autonomic nervous system to Central's higher brain functions.
But with Central suddenly down, the cell security system was weaker than ever.
Precisely. An opportunity that Jahilia couldn't pass up.
I read Yashiki sometimes. What's wrong with them?
That depends. If you want the banal and the trivial, they're absolutely fine. By having a stranglehold on the world's media industry, they are capable of controlling what the majority of the population are aware of.
Are they lying to us?
No, merely deceiving.
Huh?
But they want people to know they'll report wholly, truthfully, and factually. This is how they've established their credibility. If they or their allies wish something to be suppressed, they've thousands of hackers on staff to destroy systems that pose a threat.
You're kidding.
Not at all. They lead the world in private sector espionage through a number of subsidiaries. As far as Jahilia are concerned, the things most worth knowing are those that others wish hidden. That is why we work against Chishiki, to ensure that the world knows the whole truth.
This apartment looks almost exactly like mine. Well, except for all the data artifacts. And it's cleaner.
Not surprising, since it was right above yours.
Are you sure that agent wasn't targeting this apartment?
Unlikely. The occupant was away long-term. Together with trapping you within your apartment and outside of the trance.
Yeah, I thought so. Just hoped it might be someone else they were after. Then I could get back to my trance. Gaia's going to help me get out, but what then? I can't exactly go home anymore.
We have much to discuss, and that would be better done on a secure site. There are a number of terminal nodes we use as drop points. One of those will suffice. But remember, do not access the trance on the net until we confirm it's safe.
Any idea why they're after me?
Have you been hacking anyone you shouldn't have?
Nobody who tried to kill me anyway. Could it be related to
Sie klingt so
It
überhaupt
was an
nicht
agent who planted
süchtig.
the bomb.
Not directly. If it
Was?
was,
Ist
they'd
doch
have
süchtig.
finished you rather than keeping you prisoner. I have some theories as to what's going on, but we'll know more for certain later.
Once you've had a chance to pull data out from Central while it's down.
Exactly.
Sie ist nicht süchtig. Sie könnte jederzeit aufhören, aber sie will nicht. Das ist was vollkommen anderes. You know?
Natürlich, ich bin sowas von überzeugt mit dem Argument.
I'm sorry, I have to keep this port open for our data miners. Plus, it may not be safe for you.
They've already got me in here. What's the worst that could happen?
Think it through. If whoever has been targeting you notices you've come back online,
They'd realize I was still alive.
and exactly where you are. I'm sorry, but until we find out exactly who they are and what they want, you're going to have to remain out of the trance.
Thanks.
Off one.
I don't think this can store it.
Okay. Aber wahrscheinlich könnte ich auch da rausgehen.
Hi there. How can I help?
Can I speak to you?
Sure. Just a second.
The guy in the bed? I know what's wrong with him. He's contracted a human resources Trojan.
How would you know this? Have you been trancing with him? Because then we might have to quarantine you as well.
No, I had a friend come down with it.
Okay, then. I can get something to help. Unfortunately, I can only try to stabilize him for now. We have to wait for a specialist before we can try anything stronger.
A utility drone. It probably carries things around the building. I may be good, but even I can't breach it quickly enough. That officer would see me.
Okay, und was mache ich jetzt?
I can't use it.
Was hat mir das jetzt gebracht?
It's not compatible with data like that. Hey, he needs epinephrine.
Are you a doctor?
No.
Well then, I'm sorry, but I can't take your advice on how to help him. Even Central wasn't sure before it went down.
Irgendeine Idee, was wir jetzt machen? Blueberry? Bist du noch da?
Okay, du hast mich nicht gehört. Schön. Laut Lösung sollst du jetzt die Drohne ausrauben, wenn er nicht hinschaut.
Mit.
It doesn't take coins.
Vermutlich, wenn er das Ding da rumwedelt. Nö, nur.
Prying it open with a fork won't help.
Ja, womit soll ich es aufschrauben?
Nicht aufschrauben, ausrauben.
Looks like it's full of medical stuff.
Hey, what are you doing to that drone?
I was just checking out the hardware. It's quite some gear you guys have.
I've done all I can for the moment. Let me know if he gets any worse, okay?
Oh, und jetzt haben wir ein Skalpell.
Wow, this is some really old hardware. It's going to need some upgrading if I want to make it produce anything complex. A standard 1 terabyte memory block. This was apparently the only recipe available to Cell's food machine. Either it's got some pretty tough shielding, or from the look of it.
Warte, muss ich dafür in die Trance? Ich weiß es nicht. Okay, offenbar nicht.
Looks like they cut costs by only giving the module a tiny lens. I'm going to need to find something bigger in order to produce anything more complex.
Du kannst die Kamera ausrauben.
Das war der Plan. Jetzt im Skalpell dürfte das auch kein großes Problem mehr sein.
This might be useful.
Damit das nicht so doll auffällt, dass wir gerade die Kamera demontiert haben, ziehen wir den Tisch wieder zurück.
I can't just force the lens in. It doesn't connect to the system. I've upgraded the optical component with the camera's superpowered lens. There. It should be a lot more sensitive with that now. I hope it understands its new orders. Let's see what it can do now. It didn't sound like the machine enjoyed that. At least it managed to make me a cartridge of epinephrine. The cartridge is mounted in the ejector. Now let's see if he holds up his end of the bargain.
Dann wollen wir doch mal schauen.
Feeling better?
A whole lot, thanks. I managed to get rid of the knockoff. Give me a few hours, I'll be out of the wall and can help you leave.
I haven't got a few hours. What can you do now?
From here? Not much, but I could give you some options.
I need more than helpful suggestions.
I've got control of one of the utility drones. They use them for moving kit around the building.
I might be able to escape if I was better equipped.
Atta girl. I've sent you the link to the drone. She'll be in your hub.
Da ist die Drohne. Vielleicht kommen wir jetzt auch endlich mal an dieses... Doch mal, was die Drohne so bei hat.
Please do not interrupt active drone.
You won't sit still long enough to get it open.
Please do not interrupt active drone.
You won't sit still. I can't use it like that.
Alter, das Zeug muss doch zu irgendwas gut sein.
Come on, shoo!
Warning, power contact lost.
This might be useful.
Oh! Wie praktisch!
Dr. Lau, you have a visitor.
Oh,
Good evening, Dr. Lau.
hello. And you are... Surely you recognize him.
Apparently not.
I'm afraid you'll have to enlighten me. This is Dr. Vargas, the Central Operations Coordinator.
Now, Galatea, there's no need to be quite like that. The fact that I am not widely recognized perhaps indicates how successful we are.
Yes, you're right, Father. Vargas? Dr. Eduardo Vargas?
Quite so, Dr. Lau.
What brings you from the Fulcrum Tower, sir?
A most grave matter, I'm afraid. One I believe you specifically to be most suited to handle.
Shall I, Father?
Please do, Galatea.
Central, I believe the audio EM capture system in this room to be faulty. Please run a deep diagnostic on the system.
Certainly, Miss Vargas. Beginning scan.
We have perhaps 2 minutes until the diagnostic cycle is complete.
Dr. Lau, have you heard of a gentleman by the name of Baxter?
Ja?
Dr. Adam Baxter, convicted murderer, and a brilliant engineer in his time. Yes, I've heard of him. My partner had a history with him. His parole hearing and eventual release really got to Dr. Regis.
Quite so, poor Viksha. I don't think Charlie ever got over it. And unfortunately, it appears that he's taking things into his own hands.
You have a connection to Regis as well?
Quite so. He worked for me in a research team, as did Baxter in the same project.
And Viksha Regis?
Precisely. We lost half of the team in one fell swoop that day.
Dr. Lau, when did you last see Dr. Regis?
Last night, before Central went into siege mode. Why? What's happened?
This morning, Dr. Baxter was found dead in his workplace.
Oh, no. Oh, Charlie, no.
I share your concern, Dr. Lau.
Central believes Dr. Regis to be the most likely suspect. He would have known that Central would be unable to provide oversight during the siege.
And he had no shortage of motive, as I'm sure you'd agree.
You're the controller of Central Operations. Why would you need to cut the camera feed with a trick like that?
I apologize, but for the sake of city security...
Yeah, can't tell me. Classified, ultraviolet A, etc.
I'm glad you understand.
I might understand, but I'm not happy about it.
Noted, Dr. Lau.
It just doesn't sound like him, though. He had other outlets, like his garden.
I don't fully agree with Central's assessment either. That is why I'm activating you on this case.
You want me to investigate Baxter's murder with my partner as the prime suspect? Isn't that a pretty serious conflict of interest?
It is within my prerogative to select agents I feel appropriate for casework, if necessary. Using it to aid an old friend, a good man, like Charlie Regis, I think that's worthwhile.
Remember that your primary responsibilities are to the law and to this city.
I think I've heard enough.
That's good to hear. I'll have Galatea email the case data to you. If I can be of any further help, don't hesitate to drop by my office.
At the top of the Fulcrum Tower, make an appointment beforehand.
Diagnostic cycle of monitoring systems complete. No wetware or firmware anomalies detected. However, please ask Dr. Regis to stop obstructing the lens assembly.
I wish you luck with your work, Dr. Lau, for Regis's sake.
Got to wait till the AI lab have had their turn analyzing her. Then she's all mine.
Top of the line interfacing wetware. Pricey stuff, but I claim it as a work expense.
Oh mein Gott, du hast recht. So genau wollen wir es gar nicht wissen.
Got to wait till the AI lab have had their turn analyzing her. Then she's all mine.
Von Vargas Galatea. Ziffert vom 9. Juli. Casefile. Wie beim City-Systemadministrator Dr. Eduardo Vargas autorisiert. Bitte finden Sie Files enclosed. Und wenn du mit dem Administrator reden willst, mach bitte vorher ein Appointment.
Ow! Hey, what was that?
Oh. Von Regis Charles vom 10. Kein Betreff Max Lau, okay. Von Central Betreff Mindjackings. Danke für die Zusammenfassung der sogenannten Mindjacking-Ermittlung. Es ist evident, dass es ist offenbar, dass einiges von Dr. Regis Talent in Ermittlungen einen Weg in deiner Arbeit gefunden hat. Aber bitte sei dir bewusst, dass du nicht seine weniger hilfreichen Verhaltensmuster emulieren musst. Von Lau Edward, 8. Juli. Bitte komm nach Hause, Max. Doesn't matter. Es ist Max. Es ist nicht wichtig, was Mutter gesagt hat. Ich verstehe selber auch nicht, warum du das getan hast. Aber ich werde dich dafür nicht beurteilen. Ich vermisse dich sie werden es nicht zugeben, aber Mutter und Vater vermissen dich auch. Dieses Leben, das wird dich verändern. Eddie. Das ist noch mal das Case-File. Ah. Das ist das andere Case-File. Kategorie Mord, Einbruch, Amtsmissbrauch. Case Officers, Law, Dr. M. Outline. Am 11. Juli wurde Dr. Adam Baxter, Tod von Mitarbeitern im Wickermann und Tatsumo Telepräsenzlabor im nordöstlichen Netzwerk gefunden. Cell wurde kontaktiert und Case Officer Lao M. wurde für die Ermittlung aktiviert. Opfer bis heute: Baxter, Dr. Adam, früherer organischer Computerforscher der Stadt Newton, derzeit auf Bewährung von Gefängnisaufenthalt. Verdächtige: Regis, Dr. C, Cell Agent, Ehepartner von Viksha Regis, Dr. Baxter, die Laboratore der Verlies. Mission: Verdächtiger Charles Regis war unerreichbar und hat demonstriert ein Maß an antizivilem Verhalten. Festnahme für eine Befragung ist Ermittlung zu Pharmazeut. Na dann. Wickerman it is.
Wow, that's a lot of green. Excuse me.
Great, they finally sent someone. You here to get the body out?
Maybe. I'm Max Lau, cell case specialist.
No kidding. I'm the lab director, Dr. Zvidzai Chigwa. Make it quick, I'm busy.
What's your role here?
I'm the supervisor for the telepresence factoring labs. Most of it's automatic. I just make sure it's all running like it should.
Sounds like a big responsibility.
It's a lousy job most of the time. TP is where management sticks people they don't want in public-facing roles.
You're not happy with it?
For the last few years, my career has been one disaster after another. I'm just glad it's plateaued into some kind of stability.
Can you tell me what happened?
Baxter got killed.
In any more detail?
When we started this afternoon, a whole lot of samples had been tampered with. We tried to call Baxter to find out what the hell was going on in the specimen bank.
And he didn't answer?
He didn't. Turned out the door to the specimen bank was locked too.
You haven't seen the body?
Nope, not in person, if that's what you mean. We got the camera feed online, but it was obvious that Baxter wasn't going to be coming out.
When did you last see him?
Guess it could have been Wednesday.
So he could have been killed any time in the past 3 days?
I guess, but it wouldn't fit with everything else.
What's the purpose of this lab? Plant studies?
Yes and no. It's a TP lab, telepresence. There's a lot of research that's not exactly legal in some countries.
But in Newton, pretty much anything goes.
Exactly. If someone in the EU needs research done on something hazardous, infectious, or endangered, they send the orders here and we carry out the testing.
What sort of research?
Mostly we make new angiosperms from scratch. That's flowering plants to you.
Gee, thanks. Why would people want new flowers?
Sometimes it's a drug delivery method. The earliest commercial examples were fruit that grew packed with insulin. A lot of new wetware begins its life as engineered fruit, too.
Must be awkward if they cross-pollinate in the wild.
And a legal headache. Part of our job is making sure the copy protection works.
Copy protection in plants? Ouch. Aside from yourself, who else works in this laboratory?
There's my intern, Martin Neester, operates the factoring line. If you meet him, it's easy to see why they put him in here. And until recently, there was Dr. Baxter.
Tell me about Mr. Neester.
He came over from Eurofed on a study program. He's young. I guess we're all like that in our youth.
Good colleague?
He's all right. He got on board with that annoying Maladist trend. He knows how to follow instructions, so I let him get on with it.
Is visa still active?
Dr. Lau, we do not employ undocumented illegals in this lab.
Just have to check. I'm sure you understand. Tell me about Dr. Baxter.
Oh, he was bad enough to work with in the 60s. As part of his parole, they stuck a governor in his head. Since then, it's like talking to a badly written synthetic.
You don't care for him a great deal.
That man killed Vicky. Frankly, he deserved what he got.
But you still work with him.
He worked for me. It was another part of his parole. Vickerman's management persuaded centralized government that his skills were going to waste in prison. The company wanted him supervised by someone who knew him. Hence, they dragged my sorry ass in.
What did you have him doing?
He organized the specimen bank. It's the kind of thing we could just leave him at for hours on end. Days, sometimes. Really, it could have just been done by the facility's AI, but I had to give him something.
Otherwise, you'd have to talk to him?
Exactly.
You've got a keen mind. What's your take on this?
Hey, I'm not the detective, young lady. You know what I think? I think Regis did what they ought to have done 20 years ago.
Why do you say that?
Seems logical. We've got him coming into the labs on security, then we got him coming out an hour later. When we get here, we've got Baxter's corpse contaminating the specimen bank.
Anything else?
Well, something strange. Since we got in, we keep finding samples that have been tampered with. Looks like he spent his hour here messing up the genomes of our specimens.
That quickly?
If anyone was good enough to do it that fast, it'd be Charlie.
You knew Regis as well?
Yeah, I was on a research team with him and his wife back in the 60s. Baxter, too.
You've apparently known him a long time. Does this seem like something Regis would do?
Oh, after what he did to Vicky, I'd have strangled Baxter, too. I tell you, if he did do it, I wouldn't blame him one bit.
Do you think he did it, though?
I don't know. He was always kinda shady.
Tell me about it.
They made him do some real awful stuff out in the hot zones.
Such as?
Let's just say his escape led to a whole lot of people being jailed for war crimes.
You seem preoccupied.
That obvious, huh? We found a couple of specimens that Regis tampered with in his hour here. So I gotta run through the catalog and dig out the backups.
Sounds straightforward.
Not when there's 11,000 samples to take. Oh, I could punch Regis for this. Though I want to shake his hand for Baxter so it kinda evens out.
What's been done to the samples?
He's used a customized viral vector to add huge amounts of junk DNA to their genomes. These are the last two I found, Medioflorens interensis and Linacia lawsonis.
May I have a look?
Do you think it'll help?
Just a hunch.
Trying to explain.
Huh. Non-binary. Quaternary data string?
What do you mean?
My wetware systems are interpreting the genomes of these plants as sections of an audio file. He's used the DNA to store information.
You think so?
It's incomplete. The two samples only make up a third of the data, but M and L, my initials? This can't be a coincidence. He's left a message.
What does it say?
Not sure yet. I could probably construct the whole message if I can find where he's hidden the rest of it.
Safe to say it's in the other plants he's engineered. Here, take this. You can sample DNA from the plants around the lab. If you run out of sampling cartridges, you can reload it at this console.
Thanks. How long would it take to sample everything in the lab?
Only a couple of years. We have over 11,000 subjects. You're better off looking for specimens that would fill the gaps in the clue he left.
So, you worked with Regis and his wife, as well as Baxter. Did you also work for Dr. Vargas?
That pompous ass?
Baxter scheint sich ja so richtig beliebt gemacht zu haben bei allen, ne?
He was a competent researcher, but he lives for politics. Everything was always about making the world a better place.
And you don't think it should be better?
It's a nice idea, just not realistic. And what we ended up making, it was actually never mind.
Naja, was erwartest du? Er hat Regis' Frau umgebracht, also... Klar, dafür lieben ihn alle. Ist doch offensichtlich.
Es muss ja richtig krass gewesen sein, wenn jeder sagt, so gut, dass er einfach tot ist, Mann. Und er hätte eher sterben sollen.
Tja. Das kommt davon, wenn du nicht die beliebteste Person im Team bist und die beliebteste Person im Team umbringst. Also, wenn du jemanden töten willst, töte nicht denjenigen, den alle toll finden. Töte das Arschloch.
What happens in the specimen bank?
It's where the samples of plants and growth matrices are stored. There's a huge library of subjects to work with, natural and man-made.
And that's where Baxter worked?
Yeah, it's not exactly taxing. I wanted to see what he could do since they put a governor in him.
You left him to work alone in there?
I'll be honest, he was not a pleasant man to talk to.
I wonder why Regis hid a message inside the DNA of these plants.
DNA's been used as a data storage medium before. Rather than on-off binary, DNA would be quaternary bits. Adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. If he just left a message on one of the systems, though, or even on paper...
Then someone could have destroyed or erased it. Short of burning down the entire lab, they'd have no way to be sure they destroyed a message hidden like this.
Especially since he scrambled so many of the other samples as camouflage.
He needs to make sure it's found, and based on the layout, he wants me to find it. Have you found anything else with added genetic data?
As a matter of fact, I have. There was a batch of Orchidaceae isotria in the growth lab, and... Can't remember exactly which specimen the other was. I do remember that it had red flowers, broad leaves, and produced large, round fruit.
Why didn't the facility's CI detect Baxter's vitals suddenly failing? It's a potentially hazardous environment in here.
We were wondering that as well. This afternoon we noticed the monitoring system in the sample lab was in recursion. All hell broke loose when the CI suddenly realized what had happened.
So either you've got a technical fault with the software or wetware interfacing.
Which is unlikely given how much they cost.
Or someone breached the security systems to cover Baxter's murder. That gives me more hope. Regis would have no idea how to do that. What sort of research were you conducting in the 60s?
You mean with Charlie and his wife? You might not believe it, but we were the people behind Central.
Central? The city governing AI Central?
The same. Newton was looking for a coordinator AI. Vargas put together a team, including the new Mr. and Mrs. Regis.
Luke, me. Regis never mentioned anything about this.
It wasn't a happy memory for him. He left after the unpleasantness. We finished the project a few months later.
Huh. Might explain why he hates Central's guts.
Is that all?
For now.
Then if you'll excuse me, I'll get back to work.
I've taken a DNA sample from it.
Warning. Security clearance not valid for access to Growth Lab. Vickerman Pharmaceuticals thanks you for your cooperation.